Hello everyone and welcome back to Turn 7. Today we're talking about long distance road trips and the things that you might need to bring with you in order to have a successful journey. Now to test this for us, we've brought you to the Dolomite region of the Italian mountains. So let's have a run through of what we need to bring. Ooh, more lock required there. So the first and most obvious thing that we're going to need to bring is some clothes. I'll have a run through with you a little bit later on of some of the key items that can make this trip a little bit more comfortable. If you're me, laptop bag, my laptop comes with me everywhere. Having a bag with you in the cockpit will make a huge difference when you can just keep the essentials with you, like for example, Suncream. Really glad I put Suncream on this morning. Suncream. Did I mention Suncream? Next one is radio equipment. Having something that you can pack your radios into, preferably in a waterproof container, makes a very big difference. Now I like to bring a pair of cushions with me just because I'm a bit soft, and a few soft things make a long distance just a little bit more comfortable. Weather equipment. Now weather equipment is super important, so having a half hood with you, absolutely essential. Now the next thing you're going to need is some form of overnight protection. Now there are a couple of different options for this. One of the most popular ones is something like a Soft Bits for 7 shower cap, as you can see here. In my particular case, this car comes with a tonneau cover, which looks a bit like this. There are a couple of benefits to the tonneau cover. Obviously, this just covers the cockpit of the car. On a cold day, you can leave the passenger side on, which keeps a lot of the warmth in the cockpit. Overall, though, it's a little bit more of a faff than putting something like a shower cap on over the top of your car. And you need something because a half hood isn't a one product fits all solution. If you have a full hood with you, then obviously that will do the job, but a little bit less pleasant if you're covering big mileage with a full hood on. So at this point I should be talking to you about things like hats and sunglasses and sun cream. Have I mentioned sun cream? But the section of road that we're just coming onto is far too intense and I need to concentrate. Okay, so let's have a chat about the important stuff that you need to take with you, the clothing side of things. First and foremost, a cap. Caps are invaluable, not just for keeping the sun out of your eyes, but for preventing the inevitable sunburn. Sunglasses too. I mean, they're fairly obvious, hats and sunglasses, but my God, do you regret not bringing them with you? So definitely hat, sunglasses. Another great little tip is bringing a soft shell jacket with you. So something that will pack into a small space and is windproof and if possible waterproof as well. Because it's beautifully sunny right now, but it's really cold. It's early in the morning and being able to just pull it over your front might not be the prettiest thing you've ever chosen to put on, but it just does a fantastic job of keeping you warm, and you can pull it off really easily as the temperature climbs. Oh, a bit of shade. So it's 28 degrees right now, and I have to admit, as much as I think Caterhams are awesome always, there comes a temperature where it does just get a little too hot for a Caterham, and we are right on the cusp of that now, in my opinion. So we're actually driving through a cave right now. I've never seen anything like it. Now the acoustics in here are crazy. From one cave to another cave. I mean, who drives through a cave? We've come down this morning and the weather conditions have totally changed. It's dropped by half in terms of temperature. When we arrived here last night, it was 28 degrees. We've come down this morning, it's about 12, and it's really damp and drizzly, and the reality is that it's going to be like this for the rest of the day. So today is a half hood day. Europe, depending on the time of year you go, it's bound to be hotter than it is in England. And depending on how high you're going, it's bound to be pretty darn cold as well. So getting the appropriate dress code can make or break your European trip. Hold on a moment, I've been summoned. Sorry pal, go again.
Yeah, I bet that village was like that 300 years ago with that cobbled road.
It's just beautiful here, isn't it?
Yeah, just you wait till tomorrow. Got some amazing stuff to see.
Radio. If you're going with a gang of friends, having a good set of PMR radios can make the trip so much more enjoyable. So personally, when I'm going out on one of these trips, I'll always pack a nice hoodie. Fortunately, we do our own here at Turn 7, which you can buy in our online store. Shorts. In fact, do you know what? It's not a fashion competition. Get hiking trousers that you can detach the legs from. Those are well worth having on one of these trips, because it can get pretty hot in the footwells. Driving shoes. Make sure that you can get your feet into the pedal box nice and comfortably, and preferably that you're able to hook your left foot underneath the clutch pedal for long extended motorway journeys. Wah! I do worry about sumps in these cars sometimes, going over bumps like that. One of the other brilliant things that you must take with you on a long Caterham journey is some form of ear protection. Now, some people use the big ear defenders that fully cup over your ears. I'm not a fan, personally. I find them uncomfortable. But a good set of earbuds, noise-cancelling earbuds, can make the world of difference. I don't have them in at the moment because we're weaving our way through the mountains of Italy. But at 70 miles an hour on the motorway, you'll be grateful for ear defenders. A half hood. Half hood is an absolute must. Excuse me a second. Doesn't everybody love a tunnel? You have to have a half hood. It's, do you know, I have it on more than I have it off. I know that most of you will call that blasphemy, but if you're on the motorway, you need a half hood. If it's really, really sunny and you're going to burn because your skin's like mine, you need a half hood. If it's drizzly and cold, you need a half hood. Basically, you take the hood off occasionally, but that's just me. Most people, like the man in front of me, won't put their half hood on unless they absolutely had to. God, this is absolutely miserable now. And to be honest, this is borderline carrying on. We're down to 45 miles an hour. I can barely see the car in front of me that's 20 feet away. The side screen's totally misted up. The screen is being kept clear thanks to the heated elements that run through it. And again, if you're going to go on European trips, you should have one of these heated windscreens. But it's for these occasions that you need to have one of these in the car with you, because you just can't see anything before long. And to dry the back of your head as well. Now, some of the more intricate stuff. If you're going on a long distance journey, I'd always recommend having a bit of spare oil with you. Now, depending on the car you drive, some engines will burn a little bit more than others. Some will burn none, and, you know, strictly speaking, they shouldn't, but real world, they do. So having a little bit extra oil with you for those just in case scenarios is well worth it. A basic toolkit is something else that's really important. Now, there are a number of different options there, and you'll all know your own cars, and you'll probably have your own ideas as to what you want to bring. Personally, I always make sure I've got a good set of Allen keys, an adjustable spanner, a pair of pliers, lots of cable ties, maybe a little bit of duct tape just in case, and if possible, a good ratchet and socket set. I tend to bundle these up into neat little boxes which can be stuffed in crevices. A European road safety kit. Now, these are actually a legal requirement in some parts of Europe, but just having decent safety equipment with you. Obviously, you need your UK sticker to be fitted to the back of the car if you're coming from the UK, warning triangles, high-vis jackets, even breathalyzer kits. So check the countries that you're going to and make sure that you've got the right safety equipment to go along with it. Now, the bits that are really important to me, cleaning equipment. I hate waking up to a dirty car. So my first job every morning coming out of the hotel is clean the car from the day before. So having a decent bit of blue roll so that you can clean your windscreen with some decent glass cleaner, for me, is an absolute essential. I've then also got a solution here Ideally, you would bring a bucket and sponge, but you know, space in a Caterham isn't an absolute premium, particularly if you're two up on one of these long journeys. So a little bottle of waterless Clean and Shine does the trick when you need it to, and a bag of microfiber towels. These can genuinely save your life on one of these trips, and having a clean one in the car with you at all times for when you have an absolute deluge and you've got your half hood up and the screen just gets misted up from the inside, you need to be able to see where you're going, so those an absolute essential. And last but not least, an umbrella, every Caterham owner's best friend. So do you remember I said a little while ago that Caterhams shouldn't burn oil, but sometimes some of them do? Well, one of the chaps on the group with us here has got a rather poorly Duratec engine, and my God, is that thing burning some oil. So the Smoky Bandit in front of us is John. Now John runs a really interesting little company called Uberniche, which makes all kinds of 3D printed trick bits for your Caterham, and if you haven't checked out his online store, you should. His stuff is absolutely awesome. Hi John, so tell us about your car.
Right, so this is a 2007 R400. I got it with 50,000 miles on it.
50?
And yeah.
Nice.
It's just a little monster. I mean, 225 brake, the last time it was checked.
Nice.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit less at the moment.
How much oil have you used so far?
So I think I'm down to 5 litres of the 10 litres that I brought with me. And
that's like, what, 1,000 miles?
Yeah, so a rough guess is about 200 miles per litre, which is pretty good if you're a petrol car, but if it's oil,
yeah,
not so great. I've modified loads of stuff myself, like wing mirrors and pedals and all that kind of thing. Things annoy me about the car, and
well,
so...
Hence your shop, all these developments that you've produced for your own car, and now you sell them to everybody else.
Yeah, that's it. So something annoyed me. I don't like the mirrors on Caterhams. I think they're rubbish. They're flat glass. You can't see anything out of them. So one of the first things I did was made some Eccles copies.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't too happy with them, and I've developed them, and now I'm running these Lifelines. These mirrors are really nice.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, look, it's really cool to have you on the trip with us, and I love some of your modifications. If you haven't checked out John's online store, it's just Uberniche. You'll find it all over Black Chat. He's got some really great stuff.
Cheers.
Thanks, John.
No worries.
So we've just stopped for a bit of coffee, but it's seriously hot and sunny out here, so I want to stop the seat from getting too hot, and that's where our trusty umbrella is a super useful thing to have. We can just pop it over the top of the windscreen, neatly covered, back in an hour or two. So we've had a run through of all your stuff, but where are you going to put it? There's not a lot of space, so packing is key. So my first top tip here is prioritising. You get to your hotel at the end of the evening. What's the last thing you're going to need? So that's what we want at the bottom of our boot space. We also then want to prioritise the largest things possible. So for me, I'm going to start by getting our tonneau cover right to the bottom and utilising as little space as possible. Now this means folding it well, and I'm going to try and spread this as a thin layer across the bottom of the entire boot. Now that we've done that, the next largest thing we've got is the clothes bag, and I know that I'm not going to need that until we've arrived at the hotel. So as the largest thing, this is going in, and I'm going to try and pack it into one of the sides, so through the middle of the bars, and then just shuffling it over so that we're just using up one side of the boot at the moment. Next up for me is the radio kit bag. So I know I've got what I need inside my car, so the rest of this is just chargers and boxes and those sorts of things. So we're finding a neat little space, I think just down the side of my rucksack here. Next up, the oils and tools. Now you might need those at the side of the road if you're unlucky, so they need to be somewhere that's accessible. So I'm going to pop my oil in next, as this is the big thing. and then my tools can just tuck in next to it. Up next is the cleaning equipment. Bottles first, because these are hard, and then we're going to pack in our blue roll. So that's just going to tuck really neatly down into this space here, and that's really quickly accessible, as are our microfiber towels if we need those in a hurry. I also tend to keep a microfiber towel handy for refueling purposes. We've all been out into a petrol station and had the fuel nozzle explode back at us and soak the back of the car in fuel. And when you're miles from anywhere with no ability to wash your hands, being covered in petrol is not such a fun experience. Our safety kit. Now, I tend to put these in the most accessible place possible, because if you need them, you'll need it in an emergency, at which point you need it very, very quickly. Now, this particular kit happens to be almost exactly the same shape as the middle part of the boot section, so I just tuck that in here at the front so that that's really, really quickly and easily accessible to me when I need it. Cushions. Well, you know, for me, I'm here on my own, so cushions are going in the passenger side footwell. But if you are travelling as a pair, they will stuff really nicely down the back of the seats, which just keeps them out of the way and makes them very easily accessible to you. But for me, that's just going in there. Next up is your main bag. Now this, for me, is my laptop bag, because it comes with me everywhere. It also stores all of my camera equipment for making these kinds of films. But it also has the absolute essentials in it. So things like I mentioned earlier, the Suncream. You never know when you're in Italy how quickly you're going to need that. But it also things like my hat, my sunglasses, and things like a soft shell jacket as an essential last minute. I need this while I'm driving, so that just goes in the passenger seat right next to me where I can get to it straight away. And then last but certainly not least is the half hood. Now this is the thing that you need to be able to get your hands on absolutely in the blink of an eye, and if you've watched one of my previous videos, then you'll know of our little trick to make this as quick and easy as possible to put on. So that's going on at the top. And there you have it. That's our boot, neatly filled with everything exactly where we want it, and we're ready to hit the road. Oh, and let's not forget our trusty umbrella. These fit absolutely beautifully in the back corner, down behind the seat. Right, well that's quite enough of all that packing malarkey. Let's go and hit the road. So the car that I've chosen to bring with me on this little adventure is actually remarkably close to a spec that I would build for myself if I was ever going to own a car and keep it forever, which one day of course I will. Now if any of you have watched my previous videos, you'll know that I'm a bit of a sucker for a K-series engine, and as such the car I've chosen is no exception. This particular car is a bit of a one-off. It's a 1.8 litre Rover K-Series built by a man called Dave Andrews, a very famous K-Series engine builder here in Britain. And it produces 185 brake horsepower with a wonderful set of throttle bodies which just make the best noise the world has ever known. Oh, listen to that engine roar. It's a 5-speed gearbox, which is perfect for a long distance tour. With this engine, I'd probably have a 6-speed, but you know, that's just me. It's a Series 3 chassis, tillet seats. Never underestimate a tillet seat if you're the right shape for them. They're so comfortable over distance because they just distribute your body weight so well. What else is important? It doesn't have a heater, but I don't really mind. It's not that big a deal. This one comes with a full roll cage. Now this one's a double D full FIA roll cage. The addition of a roll cage just adds some extra protection, which is great. Obviously, you know, we all only exist once, so a bit of extra protection is always good. A track day roll cage will make getting in and out a little bit easier because you lose this bar here. But because I do a lot of motor racing, I'd probably have the full cage, just because I could then go and race this car as well. Obviously, this is not a car that I am racing. This is a car that's currently for sale on our website, if it's something that you would like to have a look at for yourself. You know, for some people, Caterham's are track day cars. For some people, it's for sunny Sunday afternoons, drives down to the pub or local car shows. But they're so versatile. think it would be horrendously uncomfortable to do a 1,000+ mile road trip in a Caterham, and it's just not. It really, really isn't. They're incredibly compliant. They're actually really quite practical. We've had all kinds of weather conditions on this trip so far. I mean, they're obviously just tremendous fun, especially when you're out on roads like these. They're just insane. Hairpin!
So Callum, do you reckon this is some of the most fun you've had in a Caterham?
On the road, yeah, definitely.
I've spent my entire life around Caterhams. I grew up with them, and I've professionally worked with them for the last 15 years. And I can honestly tell you that outside of being on a racetrack, I have never had so much fun in a Caterham. The environment that we're in here couldn't lend itself more perfectly to this kind of car. And you know, in this little convoy of cars we've got, there are 4 Caterhams, including myself. And then there are 5 supercars, a variety of things, a Mercedes AMG GT, an Audi R8, 2 911s, and it's been generally accepted that the Caterhams go at the front of the queue because nothing keeps up with us when we get anywhere near a twisty section of roads. And it's not even that we're breaking the speed limit, it's just that they're so capable of transitioning between corners. And it's just so much fun. God, I might have had a little bit too much coffee this morning. So there you go, that's our Turn 7 guide to your European road trip. And if you haven't started planning yours already, I suggest you get started.